earlier today, while we were live on the air with Clay and Buck, Disney sued Ron DeSantis over effectively a zoning battle that has emerged at Disney World in the so-called Reedy Creek area. For those of you who are not aware, Disney World, based in Orlando, tens of thousands of acres. When it was built, they gave, the state of Florida did, Disney special zoning authority effectively over all of this land. So if they decide that they need to build a new theme park, it's far easier to do. A new hotel. They don't have the usual zoning rigmarole that they have to go through. Well, when Disney decided to speak out against legislation passed in Florida that would have kept kindergarten, first, second, and third graders from being taught about sex-related issues, that was branded Don't Say Gay, right? The reality was this was Ron DeSantis saying young kids don't need to be instructed in sex-related issues in public schools. And so this turned into a huge battle, okay? This turned into a huge battle, and ultimately Disney lost because most people out there looked at what the bill said and they agreed with Ron DeSantis. Even Democrats did. But as you look now, Disney tried to, as Ron DeSantis said, hey, I'm going to take away this zoning freedom. I'm going to respond to Disney attacking me by not giving Disney preferential treatment in the state of Florida. So he decided he was going to appoint a new board to overlook the Disney zoning issues. Disney then tried to push through new rules which would limit the overall authority of the state of Florida to present new board members in this Reedy Creek area and what they could do. So all of that is the legal complexities behind what is going on. Here's the bigger picture issue. Disney CEO Bob Iger has effectively decided to go to war with Ron DeSantis and many Republicans out there and embrace its moniker of woke Disney. What do I mean by that? When you sue one of the most popular Republican elected officials in the country after you have previously decided to attack him for his decision-making as it pertains to Disney, you have essentially aligned yourself in concrete with the far left wing in this country. And I believe that is a really bad decision for Bob Iger to have made because Disney's business relies probably upon Republicans at least as much as it does Democrats. That is, people want to be able to watch movies without thinking about politics, particularly if it's movies for kids. They want to be able to go to Disney World or Disneyland. And here is what I believe is really the worst move of all by Bob Iger. Ron DeSantis was actually the most pro-Disney executive in the country during COVID. Because I want you to think about this. DeSantis opened Disney World a full year before Gavin Newsom would open Disneyland in California. DeSantis even brought in the entire NBA and allowed them to play at the wide world of sports there in Orlando and Disney when everything else was shut down. So in addition to embracing now left-wing politics, as Bob Iger is doing by suing Ron DeSantis, he's also alienating and attacking the governor who was more favorable to Disney than anyone in the entire country as it pertained to COVID. So Bob Iger is crushing Disney's brand here by attacking the chief executive of a state who did more to keep Disney's business functioning than any politician in the country. Remember, and this is to me a story that deserves to be screamed from the high heavens. Ron DeSantis opened Disney World basically a year before Gavin Newsom opened Disneyland in California. The study and management there was destructive to Disney's brand in California. And yet Bob Iger now is suing the chief executive officer of a state, the governor, who was most beneficial overall to his business after Disney picked a fight with him. Right? This is all very important. DeSantis was just running his state when he said, hey, we're going to pass a bill. We don't think kindergarten, first, second, third graders should be able to get education in sex-related issues. That was an issue overwhelmingly agreed to by Floridians. So DeSantis passed this bill. And then out of nowhere, Disney decided to parachute in, and based on a misapprehension and frankly fundamental misunderstanding of this bill, they decided to directly attack Ron DeSantis, the state of Florida, and their individual right to educate children as they saw fit. So then DeSantis responds in kind, and now Disney is accelerating this battle even more. I think this is a huge loser for Disney. And I understand there are politicians out there who are like, oh, this is really activist by Ron DeSantis to get involved. No, they attacked him. Disney attacked DeSantis for the state legislative decisions he was making after Ron DeSantis bent over backwards and went to war to open Disney World for them when their chosen left-wing stalwart ally, Gavin Newsom, was keeping Disneyland closed because of a misguided understanding of what the impact of COVID would be if you could walk around outdoors at an amusement park. Drives me crazy. By the way, I took my kids down to the Disney parks and also Universal Studios during all this. Do you know what they had us doing? First of all, you couldn't take your mask off even then anywhere inside of these amusement parks, except for when you were eating, which is ridiculous. But at Universal Studios in particular, every time you got on a ride, they had someone standing there with a massive container of hand wash, hand sanitizer, and every single time you got on a ride, somebody there had to squirt it and you had to rub your hands, or you were not allowed to get on the ride. Because after a little while, you can imagine if you've ridden like 10 rides, your hands are like raw and chapped, and you're thinking to yourself, why in the world am I having to continue this? Every single ride, you had to get a brand new squirt. Because I tried to go by. I was like, no, I'm good. My hands are clean. I literally have gotten 20 squirts of hand sanitizer already today. My hands have never been more sanitized in my life. And they wouldn't let you get on the ride, I swear to you, unless you took the hand sanitizer. Because I tried. I was like, I'm good. And they were like, no, sir, you have to get hand sanitizer in order to be able to get on this ride. That's how crazy things were.